That was
Well, it is now a week and a day since the SEC championship, and Greg Sankey has still not congratulated the Georgia Bulldogs on winning the conference.
It was very interesting. What's the behind the scenes riff that we don't know about? Something has gone on previously to make Kirby say that. And
I think that he was so pissed off about our schedule. Like, I truly don't think there's any hidden beef or anything. I think that it is our schedule was so horrendous this year that he's like, "Are you kidding me?" And then I think that Kirby's also just kind of sick and tired of everybody constantly doubting this team.
I don't know. He says that, but he uses it so much for fuel that I'm like, you say that you hate it, but secretly you love it because
You
then
love
you're like,
it.
oh, everybody's talking about y'all. They don't think y'all can do it. And it's like,
It's like
even when
reverse
that's
rat
true.
poison.
Yeah, 100%. Even when it's not true, he's like, no one thinks y'all can do it. What?
So we could, yeah, no, ridiculous. So we could, all right. Yay!
Garrett, the SEC
Yeah.
championship has come and gone. I didn't think we were going to pull it off. We saw both quarterbacks play. I'm going to let you start. Tell me your thoughts.
I finally got my win in the Benz, and that is honestly the only thing that we should talk about this week. No, I'm kidding.
That's what you wanted for Christmas, boys and girls.
That first half, I cannot believe that we kept it as close as we did because we were outgained by 112 yards in that game in total offense. We should not have won, but we did, and it was excellent. Their D line was absolutely stomping us into the ground on the first half, and I think that that's why we couldn't make any of the big plays and we couldn't do anything. Like their D line was so dialed in, and they were just swarming us every single chance they got. Our O line did a stellar job protecting Beck, obviously, except for that last play of the half.
Oops.
That was a terrifying moment. We were all sitting there trying to watch the craziness, and my dad is like, Garrett, look. And I'm like, no, Dad, Beck is hurt on the middle of the field.
What a weird play, right? Because you're looking at the ball bobbling between the three Texas players. It finally lands in the hands of a dog. And then, oh, wait, over here, Carson Beck is like writhing in pain, grabbing his elbow on the ground. Cut to halftime. We don't know what's happening. Is he coming back? Is he not? And then in the third quarter, Gunner's up.
Gunner time, baby. It's Gunner time.
When I asked you last week, do you think we'll see Gunner, just how much of him we would see?
I
like what I saw.
That was such a shock. We were watching the team come out after halftime, and I was just kind of hoping that he had like fallen wrong and that he was going to be fine. When we didn't see him run out of that tunnel, I was like, okay, we're either about to win it or we are about to get dog walked in the second half. And Gunner came out and slung it. He was 12 for 16 for 71 yards and one interception. It's not the best stat line in the world, but think about it. You've got a backup quarterback going in the second half of the SEC championship game after our quarterback for the entire year has been hurt. He's only played maybe a full quarter of football this season. I think he did very well considering the circumstances around him.
Indeed. Those were, that was not an easy thing to go into. I did like the energy shift that you could see visibly, and I'm sure that you could feel if you were in the stadium. All the players really rallied around Gunner, and you could just see how much more amped everyone was. They seemed more excited to go out there and play. And I think that really impacted the game and ultimately won it for the Dogs. So I'm thinking that Gunner probably has a better locker room rapport with the guys, and they seemed more happy to play with him. Honestly, no shade to Carson, just an observation.
I completely agree.
Yeah, Carson wasn't doing so hot. Of course, we never want anyone to get injured, but I was not sad that Gunner took over. Carson completed 7 of 13 passes for 56 yards. And he threw those 2 picks back to back in the 2 free plays in the second quarter where there were flags on the field. We just offensively were off to a slow start.
Yep. That's kind of been the signature for Georgia football this year. I was not surprised in the slightest. And one thing that I kind of noticed for the first time on Saturday is that I think that a lot of the dropped passes have not necessarily been the receivers not catching it. I think that Beck might have a little too much power behind some of these throws.
Very
We're
Jacob
seeing a lot
Eason.
of these drops, and it's literally bouncing off of their hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if Beck truly just has too strong of an arm for this team as opposed to not strong enough.
I don't know. Maybe a few things together. I also feel like he maybe is not the best reader.
Mm-mm.
And then
And a
I don't
couple of passes that were dropped were once again thrown into double coverage, you know?
But then you have the ones that it's like Arian Smith that's hitting you in the number. Like, come
Mhm.
on.
Yep. And
Uh,
Dylan Bell, he had one hit him right in the hands, but he was also like getting actively tackled as that ball hit off of his hands. So it's kind of like you blame the receivers, you blame the quarterback, but how much of it is power? How much of it is defense? How much of it is all these other factors outside of just, oh, Beck can't throw, the receivers can't catch?
right. It's more nuanced for sure. Gunner also used his legs, which I loved. He was not afraid to fight for those extra yards. I think his longest run was 9 yards, maybe, which of course isn't a lot, but I do like that he's not afraid to fight for that little bit of extra yardage.
No, he's absolutely not. I'm pulling up the stat lines here so that I can see what he ran for. Trevor Etienne balled out. He
He
had
did.
16 carries for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. We talked about this stat line, but Etienne and Woodring scored all 52 points for Georgia against Texas.
Like, do we just send them if we have to play them again? How does this work? Because
Two-man football team, just the two of them.
no points. I don't know what to do. I guess we need people to block, and somebody
Yeah.
has to hold.
I will say our run defense stepped up to the challenge.
Oh
We
my
once again held them to double-digit yards in the entire game. They only
31
rushed
yards.
31 yards the
And
entire
before,
game.
and so what's up with our run defense against Texas? Because in the first game we had they had 64 rushing yards or something. Like, okay, where's this
I
been?
think it's just they finally stepped up. Jalen Walker balled out, a ton of guys. I mean, it was the numbers don't show how good of a game it was at
With
all.
Jalen Everett had the 2 interceptions.
Mhm.
The defense did great. On that second play of the game, Michael Williams got his hand on Ewer's pass. I mean, I thought defense really did well overall.
The defense, I think, is definitely what won us that game for sure. They had some very, very crucial stops in the red zone that led Texas to have to kick a field goal as opposed to going for a touchdown. I think that the defense is truly what won us that game.
I agree. I want to talk about the fake punt. Did
That
you?
was so electric. That was so awesome.
First of all, we're like, who is this kid coming out? By the way, it's Charlie Ham is his name. He's
We
but
love him.
kid, we love Charlie Ham. This kid comes out. What's going on? Arian Smith, way to redeem yourself. We all love you. We're sorry that we talked about you dropping the ball so many times. Thank you for everything that you've done for our team. We appreciate
That
you.
once again brings up the question, is he dropping the ball or is he just not gelling with Carson Beck? Because he played much better in the second half than he did in the first half.
Once his hands are on it, he holds on to it. It's just that initial contact that we have problems with.
Exactly. It's the catching of the ball in the first place.
Oh.
I love the energy surrounding that offense when Stockton's out on the field. I love that clip in the little victory movie of Lawson Lucky and Gunnar Stockton, where he said, you know, if you trust yourself as much as we trust you, we'll be in great shape. And I think that speaks volumes to how much this team loves Gunnar and how much they've been kind of waiting for him to have his shot.
Indeed, and it is his time to shine now. And what a beautiful catch by Lawson Lucky. I hope his mom like blows that up and frames it and puts it over her mantle in her fireplace. Like, beautiful catch.
It is deserved. That's an NFL level catch right there. He knows when to put his foot down, which is just awesome.
Yeah, they're definitely coached and trained to do that, and he did well for sure. There was no question that was a catch.
Our Our offensive line did a great job in the second half, protecting the quarterback. We gave up 2 sacks in the whole game. Both of them were Carson Beck. Um, they did a great job protecting Gunner. And can we talk about Gunner taking that hit in overtime?
Where he was decapitated. Oh, his poor mom. They're showing her in the stands.
I love that meme. Gunner Stockton lost his head, and then Carson Beck came in and won the game with one arm.
Georgia boys are tough. What a baller, though. He just literally almost gets his head knocked off and pops right back up.
And not only that, he held on to the ball.
Does not drop the ball.
That was the biggest thing for me, was that he held on to that ball. I mean, you look at this picture of him on the ground, his knee is literally backwards. His eyes are rolling back into his head, and he is still just holding on to that ball for dear life.
He has a brain injury, but he holds on to the ball. Yeah, like no one was talking about the weird way he landed on his legs, because we're all so concerned that his neck was broken. Thank God it's not.
Watching that replay, that was the first thing I thought about, was I am so glad that he did not destroy his knee.
He could have gotten a few things destroyed, but thank God he's okay. He is a baller. What a tough kid.
Oh my gosh. At Rabun County, they build him well. I love Rabun County. Shout out Rabun County. We need to take the Charlie Warner sign and put Gunner Stockton on it.
And he's just a sophomore.
He is. We get him for so long. Yeah. What do you think about Georgia trying to get some quarterbacks in the transfer portal? What do you think that's saying about our quarterback depth? And do you think anybody's going to leave after the season's over?
I think Carson is the big question mark at this time, right? We don't know. He's definitely out for the Sugar Bowl, so I hope that everyone has bought their Stockton jerseys along with their plane tickets, because he is your guy in New Orleans. But Carson's the question mark, right? Is he planning on coming back? Is he planning on going to the draft? Like, what's going on there?
I am not entirely sure. I don't think that we know too much, because Brock Purdy had the exact same UCL injury. He was out for 3 to 4 weeks. So it could be quick enough to where he's back for the semifinals, or he could just sit the rest of the season. I'm not entirely sure. I have a feeling that if Gunner gets out there and balls out, we won't see Beck again.
I agree. And I won't be sad to see him leave.
I won't either.
As far as our depth, I do think that we could get some transfer quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Where's all this? We had all this money allotted for Justice Terry, and he is not coming to us. So I'm wondering if we can get a bunch of good players. But the transfer portal, I mean, it's like it's a lot to keep up with.
It is a lot. And there are a lot of issues that come from the regulation of it all. I don't think poor Marshall is now having to vacate their bowl game.
Their players have transferred.
And in that, because they fired their coach.
They didn't renew his contract.
Oh, okay.
He was going to Southern Miss, and most of the players said, "We out too."
I don't think that you should be allowed. I don't think that the transfer portal should be open before the postseason's played. I like the timeline that they have currently, where the second timeline where the portal opens after the season's over, and then people can get in there and go. I don't think that it's fair to these teams for their guys to just be able to quit before the last game of the season.
I agree. And I guess it's probably up to maybe coaching discretion if you want to still play them while they're in the portal, maybe before they're committed to someone else, before they land somewhere. I don't know how that works. I know we certainly don't do that. I don't think Kirby Smart does that.
I don't think we're going to see Humphrey back on the field again.
No, we will not. And I saw that he committed to, where did I see?
Well, and thank the good Lord Jesus, he's going to A&M.
A&M, thank you.
But thank the good Lord that Nitro Tuggle is not leaving.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know about the wishy-washiness. I'm kind of like, Nitro, you were my man simply based on your name alone. Why is my name not Nitro Tuggle? Why is my name Kelsey? I don't know.
Yeah.
So everybody was behind you, I feel like, and then you're in the portal and now you're not. So it's like, are you going to jump back in?
So did he ever post a statement that he was entering the portal? Or was it just hearsay?
Maybe it was just hearsay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that
Because
was
I
just.
think that it could have been one of those things where it was like Nitro's talking about entering the portal, whatever, and it was like never officially announced by him. Because
Mhm.
all I saw was his tweet that just was that little clip that's like, I'm not going anywhere. So he might not have ever formally declared to
So
enter the
maybe
portal.
they were just mean rumors.
Let
Somebody's
me
out here lies about my man. I don't know.
well, because he's pretty much guaranteed to be a starter for us next year. So I don't see why he would leave when he is guaranteed. Okay, so he formally announced that he was entering the transfer portal.
I feel like the reason would be dollar signs, right? I mean, if you're an 18-year-old kid and someone is offering you X amount of dollars and all these zeros, I mean, I would take it too. Someone please pay me $4 million to come. I will change teams.
I would love it. I would love it. Well, and that's the whole reason Justice Terry switched his commitment is because Texas offered him $10 million and Georgia was like, we're not going to do that.
Texas has all that oil money and little us over here.
The University of Texas is actually one of the top 10 richest universities in the world.
I believe it.
They have I looked up the stats. They have like 4,300 multimillionaire alumni, and then it's like 2,500 billionaire alumni or something like that. Something
You
in
know, they don't have they don't have 2 wins against the Dogs this year.
per.
Money can't buy everything.
I feel like we are now Texas's Alabama.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, we'll see what happens when they come to Athens next year, but we still have a home game winning streak alive that Kirby's not going to want to give up anytime soon.
Which I hope they travel well to us next year. How did you think the stadium was as far as fans turnout?
Oh, that was 80-20 Georgia. It was a home game for the Dogs, 1,001%. It was electric. It was really, really dead in that stadium up until about 5 minutes into the game, and then everybody was in their seats, and it was a lot better. But I was looking around 2 minutes before kickoff, and I was like, where the hell are these people?
Yeah, I heard there were a bunch of empty seats. So maybe they're just not a well-traveled fan base. I don't know. But
I think it's more so just Atlanta is not necessarily somewhere you want to come visit for a football game. Like,
no,
even though it is the SEC championship, whatever, like, you'd rather come to Atlanta for a natty versus an SEC championship game.
I hate playing in Atlanta. Greg Sankey, listen to me. I hate it.
I
It's
love it because it's nice and convenient for all of the Georgia fans, but that stadium's cursed. The Falcons aren't doing well. I don't watch soccer, so I can't really say much about Atlanta United, but like Georgia has so many heartbreakers that have occurred inside that stadium. It's like Jordan Hare. It's cursed.
I don't know if it's the structural, if the Falcons have structural issues or what, but I'm going to pass on that question. I just want to go play somewhere else.
Oh my gosh. I think it'd be awesome for the SEC to do a rotating stadium for the conference championships. Have it in Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, and just like rotate it through the three. Or
And
New Orleans. Do New Orleans.
that
Caesar
makes
Superdome is awesome.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense for from an economic standpoint because why wouldn't you want to kind of spread that around to the different cities in the South and let all these different towns kind of get that revenue from everyone traveling and spending their money, all the commerce.
1,000%. I think there's a contract that the SEC has with Mercedes-Benz that's going to go through 2031. But I think at that point, the SEC should look at that and try and move it around a little bit.
I think so too. We should write Greg Sankey.
We should.
Subscribe to our channel and he can
Meet him at Greg Sankey. Move the SEC championship game.
please and thank you. Love.
Yeah.
Okay. Brett Thorson is injured, and I'm so sad about this because he is an amazing punter. I feel like he sometimes gets overlooked because he's just the punter, but he's excellent at flipping the field. He does a tremendous job. So
I mean, the kid has kicked multiple 60-yard punts. Like, he's a baller.
He's fantastic. He is having surgery on his non-kicking leg next week. And he's going to be out. So our new guy is Drew Miller. He was the number one punter coming out of high school. So hopefully he can do good. We just haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, no, I am heartbroken for Thorson. I love him so much. He's my age. He's 3 weeks older than me. I didn't know that.
Oh,
January
wow.
babies, January 2000 babies unite. Um but yeah, so he's only a junior, so I think he could be back for next season. I have a feeling that he would be. I don't really see why he wouldn't.
Can we hook you up with Brett Thorson?
I would love that.
You know, he's
I would
Eastern.
absolutely love that. Brett, give me a call.
Brett, please. His number is 92, and that's the year that I was born. So, Georgia had 4 fumbles. So I thought that, that was not great. Texas only had 1. And I thought that whenever Gunner threw that pick, I just knew it was going to be the end. I was like, turn the TV off. We got to go. But the Dogs did manage to pull it off. Arch didn't throw a single pass, which I thought was interesting.
He did not. I feel like Quinn Ewers is to Texas what Carson Beck has been to Georgia, where he hasn't been performing when we need him to, but they're too scared to put in the backup.
I don't know. I think Quinn is playing well. I think Arch,
I think he's playing well, except against Georgia.
Yeah, and there's kind of the issue, right? So maybe, like you said, they are just kind of what we are to them, what Alabama has been in the past to Georgia.
Mm-hmm. And it is crazy to me that we won that game while getting outgained.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing happened with Georgia Tech. This team should not be winning the games that we're winning, but we somehow are.
Somehow we're pulling it off despite losing the game of land acquisition and getting outplayed on yards on offense. I don't know what's going on, but I'm thankful that we are pulling it off somehow.
1,000%. Moving into the postseason, we had the Army-Navy game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. I loved it. I'm one of those people that's happy for both teams. I have more friends that are connected to the Army versus the Navy, but I'm happy either way.
I was not, because I was saying go Army beat Navy. Of course, Navy upset Army 31-13, giving the Black Knights their second loss of the season. Bryson Daly did not play up to his skill level, so I don't know what was going on there. He was, I think, 6th maybe in the Heisman talk.
Mm-hmm.
And he only had 65 passing yards, and he had 3 picks. So I don't really know what was going on there. Navy outplayed them, plain and simple.
It was a cursed game for Army for sure. But that's just one of those games where you watch and it's just awesome no matter what way it turns out. I love the traditions that they have, and I watched the prisoner exchange for the first time this year. I didn't know that they did that. That's awesome.
I love all the pageantry of Army Navy. Oh my gosh, just like chills watching all of it.
It's just awesome. You can't beat it.
It's such a special game. And then I was thinking, okay, well, if he was in the top 4 for the Heisman race, Bryson Daly, he has a game today. So how would he get to New York?
They literally have to PJ him out.
Yeah, 100%, which they can do. I want to ride a PJ so bad.
Oh my gosh, same.
Life goals.
Not going to pull a Vanderpump Rules. However,
you don't want to be like Lala Kent?
No, I am no Lala Kent.
You can be.
PJs for PJs. Lord bless it. That I genuinely think if I did that, my father would kill me.
Yeah, well, Hug Dog, don't listen to this.
One of Hampton's fraternity brothers has a private jet, so maybe I can sneak my way on with Hampton next time he flies out.
Yeah, can we be friends with him?
Yeah, I think that'd work out great.
What even is that?
Hampton literally flew out on a private jet to Austin for the Texas game.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's so cool. My brother is living such a good life, and I'm just vibing.
How old is he?
He's 21.
21 on his friend's private jet.
I know. Come on, man. You got to be kidding me. I mean, then again, I did go to Ole Miss. There were plenty of opportunities. I just wasn't making friends with the right people.
You got to try harder, Garrett. Pick your friends wisely.
Lesson number 1 for anybody attending the University of Mississippi: do not date a man in bucks. They will ruin your life.
You heard it here first. Life lessons from Garrett.
Oh, that my friend that was over last night, we met through our Bucks ex-boyfriends that we both despise.
Well, at least you made a friend out of that.
Exactly.
Oh, ex-boyfriends.
Blech.
Rough. What did you think about the Heisman ceremony last night? Travis Hunter is the 2024 Heisman winner.
I understand it. He played both sides of the ball. He was good. All this other stuff. Ashton Genty deserved it so much more. And I will die on that hill. I think that there have been way too many good running backs that have been snubbed for the popularity contest of it all. I think Travis Hunter very much won me over in his speech last night, just like you and I were texting about. I like his personality. I don't know. I think that at a certain point, when you have a running back that is crushing records left and right, not only that, at a group of 5 school.
We just love the group of 5. I agree. I mean, Travis Hunter has the duality. I was glad that it was not a quarterback this year. I kind of get tired of that. You know, we just give it to, I was so happy that Dylan Gabriel didn't get it. No offense to him. I think he's great.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
no, I mean, I have Oregon going all the way in my bracket, losing to us, but I have them going all the way in my bracket.
There's no doubt in my mind that Oregon will be in the national championship. But I feel like it's so common for the Heisman winner to just be the quarterback on the best team. So for that reason, I was happy that he didn't get it, because I like having truly the best player, not just the quarterback on the best team.
I completely agree. I feel like the Heisman it's kind of lost its luster in the past few years. I feel like it's really not going to the most deserving player. It's just going to the most popular player.
I don't know. Travis does have the duality, wide receiver, cornerback. He has 92 catches for, 1,152 yards. I'm not mad that he got it. I'd certainly understand why people voted for him, and I think he is deserving of it. I just love Ashton Genty. I love his record. I love just him as a person. When you watch him talk in interviews, he just seems like such a nice kid. I really love his loyalty to Boise State more than anything. I'm an Enneagram 6, which is a loyalist.
Yes.
I really appreciate that. He hasn't listened to all the noise of the transfer portal, and I'm sure all of the dollar signs that people have been trying to throw his way. He just likes his team.
And he was also the only guy in New York repping his team.
I know.
Just like Stetson Bennett. Stetson, come back, please.
Stetson, we love you.
Gunnar Stockton gives me such strong Stetson vibes.
Did you order your jersey yet?
No, I haven't. Anthropology was having 40% off of their sale, so I have to get my Anthropology card.
The stunner. We're going to start calling him
Stunner Stockton.
The Stockton jersey will have to wait until after Christmas.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll use the Christmas money and we'll get it. But Anthropology tops were a little too cute to turn down.
I can't blame you there. I certainly can't. Let's talk first round playoffs.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Tennessee's traveling to Ohio State. What do you think the temperature's like in Ohio State? And I don't mean the weather. I want to know what's going on with Ryan Day and the fan base.
I think that if Ryan Day loses this game, he's out
of his coaching position.
Yep.
I'm just wondering if all the fans are still angry and hungover and everything after the Michigan loss, and then the fight after the Michigan loss, and the flag planting and all that hoopla, and it was just kind of unnecessary. You need to learn how to lose, but if they can get past that and focus on Tennessee, then I think that they will do well. But did you hear about the pre-sale code getting leaked out, and Tennessee's bought up like all of these tickets?
Yep.
and they're trying to like checkerboard the shoe. I mean, it is going to be
It's
awesome.
gonna be nuts. I actually saw the sweetest TikTok, that I ended up sending to my dad of this dad telling his son that they were going to the game. He was like, "We're going." It was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm so happy for these Tennessee fans that they get to go and experience the playoffs. It's super fun. I just this is one of those games where I just wish that the ground would open up and swallow them both. You know?
Listen, I would be a Tennessee fan if I didn't live in Athens, Georgia, because Rocky Top is just so catchy. I'm sorry, y'all
It
can come for
is.
me. I love Rocky Top.
But nobody looks good in orange.
I certainly don't. But
No.
we'll see. Ohio
Last
State's
musical I
favorite.
ever did, they put me in all orange from head to toe. And I looked at the costume moms and I said, What the hell are y'all doing? Like,
Yeah, you
love
were out of your
you. Love you so much. You've been with me literally throughout my entire theatrical career. Why are you putting me in all orange?
It was a sign. It was time to get out. We got to bail.
No, it was not good.
Do it. Yeah.
I think that this is one of those games that could truly go either way.
I really think it depends on the attitude of each team. Ohio State is favored at home by 7.5. Tennessee has 2 losses to Arkansas and Georgia. Nico Iamaleava is playing good ball. He's a 65% passer. They have Dylan Sampson, who has over 1,400 yards. And they have an elite front seven. But they did have 9 of their players hit the transfer portal this week, which was interesting. None of them were starters, but just another little transfer portal nugget there. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go.
And then, of course, Ohio State has the playmakers. I have been saying that since day one of the season. Quinshon Junkins, Will Howard is a 72% passer, Travion Henderson, and Jeremiah Smith, who has 57 catches for 932 yards.
Mhm.
I can honestly see it going either way, too. And I think the fans might really impact the game on this one.
I 1,000% agree. I feel like if you show up and it's mostly red, Ohio State will take it. But if Tennessee travels well, I see the Vols taking it. I don't see if the Vols do win, I don't see them making it past the second round. Because if they do, they're gonna have to meet Oregon. Um, so yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? There could be a massive shakeup and Oregon loses, but I don't see that happening.
I don't have Oregon losing on my bingo card either.
Mm-mm. I did my bracket challenge. I have Tennessee or no, I have Ohio State. No. One bracket I have Ohio State, one bracket I have Tennessee. But I have Georgia, Oregon, and the Natty with Georgia winning it all.
I haven't filled out my bracket, but I'm about to.
Yeah, do it. ESPN bracket challenge.
I also would put Georgia and Oregon in the Natty, which I would like to see. But of course, the Natty is in Atlanta this year, so
Yay. Dad and I were already starting to look at tickets. They are starting at $560
for the nosebleeds.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a really nice couch.
Yeah. I will be sitting in my very comfortable apartment. Actually, no. If I can go to the game, I want to go.
I have literally no desire to go watch a game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I would rather save for another time. It's just not my jam. So maybe next year. We'll see.
Yeah, who knows? Actually, very fun story at the game. They made everybody pour their beers in plastic cups because of what happened in Austin.
Really?
That's at least what the concession workers said, that they were forcing everybody to pour their beers into plastic cups because of what happened in Austin.
How many beers did you drink during this game?
I drank 2, which is shocking for me. For everybody that doesn't know, I have a stomach condition that I just vomit all the time. And so it's really hard for me to drink and like not only drink, keep it down. So I had 2 Fireball shots and 2 beers and I kept it down. I had a really good day. So it worked out in my favor.
Oh, well, you were probably the most sober one in the stadium that was
1,000%. Oh, yeah, no, I was definitely one of the only, I mean, outside of literal children, I was one of the only sober adults there.
I went to my friend's restaurant in Watkinsville. Shout out Classic City Eats, and had several
Love
of
Classic
their
City Eats.
had a bunch of their Christmas margaritas that they had on the chalkboard, and they were fabulous. So I had way too many of those.
That sounds absolutely delicious.
Yeah, they were really good.
That is the one thing I miss about being up in Athens all the time is the food.
Yeah, we do have really good. All right, who do you have for Clemson, Texas?
I have Clemson upsetting Texas.
Whoa, that's a bold choice.
I don't
Texas
know
is
if you know this, but the Clemson quarterback and Quinn Ewers, they were rivals in high school.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They played for rival high schools out in Texas. So I think that this is Cade Klubnik's revenge game. Like, not only just for Clemson, I think that this is his revenge game against Quinn Ewers.
Cade is playing well.
They are. They're playing really well. They're playing a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season, I can tell you that.
Yeah, this is not the same team that we saw in Atlanta months ago. They have evolved, which good for them. I think Cade has, 3,300 yards for the season? I don't know. Texas is playing a revenge game too.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming off of a loss to us, but we saw what happened the last time they came off of a loss. They almost lost to Vanderbilt.
It's a hard place to play, Garrett. But you can't be focused on last week's loss and not think about this week because, yeah, I mean, you've just got to switch. You've got to be able to make that mental shift and focus on your new opponent and not the one who beat you last week. So hopefully Sark can get that done. I do love him and I do wish him the best. So I don't know who I've got in this one, and I won't be surprised either way.
Yeah.
Another tough matchup, I think.
There are 3 games that are being played in the first round that could go either way. Indiana, Notre Dame being the last one.
Really? I think Notre Dame is definitely going to win that one.
I think that Indiana's coming in with the chip on their shoulder after all of the talk that they've had all season about, oh, well, they haven't played anybody. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. Well, I think we all knew that Ohio State was going to blow Indiana out of the water, but this is Indiana's first chance to kind of really show everybody that they are a playoff worthy team. Not only that, it's only 3 hours from Indiana's campus to Notre Dame's campus. So I feel like it'd be pretty evenly split amongst fans. I have Notre Dame winning the game in my bracket, but I could see it going either way. I'd be happy playing either one of those teams.
Indiana, I'm going to be a hater. Their schedule has just been lackluster. So I do agree with you saying that this is their chance to show us if they are a playoff team, because their best win was against a 7-5 Michigan.
Yep. I think that Penn State is going to absolutely annihilate in their game. I don't think there's going to be a question over that one. If we're being completely honest.
Respect on my pony's name, why don't you?
I know, and I love SMU. I love SMU so much. I have been pony up all season. I think that Penn State is going to take this game and run with it. And I feel so bad for SMU, but it's going to be a whiteout in Happy Valley in December. These are a bunch of Texas boys going up north to play a playoff game. I just simply don't think that they're going to be able to get it done. And I would love, love, love to be proven wrong. I just think that James Franklin's going to walk away with it.
I would love to go to a whiteout game at Penn
That'd be so cool.
That would be amazing. Anyone who can invite us, please invite us to a Penn State game. We want to go.
No, let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know. They are traveling there. Like you said, this is the first time since 1978 that they will have gone there. The ponies have been in the desert forever. I think Penn State's going to pull it off for sure.
I would, like I said, I would so love to be proven wrong. I would love for SMU to come in there and just, but I don't feasibly see it happening. James Franklin does not do well in big games. I think they've got a higher chance of losing against Boise State or against us than they do against SMU.
I agree. Drew Aller's a 69% passer, and their only losses currently are to Oregon and Ohio State. But good luck to both teams. It's SMU's first year in the ACC, so we'll see if they can pull off the upset.
It's going to be such a fun day of football. We're doing a pig out day. We used to have this tradition before the first day of school where we would go and get whatever crappy food we wanted. We'd order takeout and get donuts and candy and all that. Then we literally pajamas in the basement, movies all day long. So we are going to be recovering from our club Christmas party the night before and having a pig out day, watching all the playoff games.
Oh, I love it. That's going to
It'll
be
be fun.
awesome. Oh, that's
It'll
going to
be
be
a blast.
good.
So in my bracket, I have Clemson upsetting Texas, Ohio State winning, Penn State winning, and then Notre Dame advancing. I've got Georgia playing Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. Feels like 1980.
Sugar will be falling from the sky.
Oh man, if that I will be blasting that Larry Munson call all day long. I will be insufferable.
Listen, I can't go to the Sugar Bowl because I have to work. So my boss is literally never going to hear this, but let me off work.
Yeah, we're closed on New Year's Day.
We will probably be closed on New Year's Day, but it's the next day. That's the issue.
Yep. Yeah. Having to get back to the office.
And then we play so late, it's 8:45, and grandma goes to bed at like 9:30. So I might have to catch the game the next day. I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna stay up and watch it, but I'm definitely giving myself a half day on the 2nd, so I won't go in until noon.
That's nice.
Best of luck to all the teams in the playoff. I think that no matter what happens, this is a really great bunch of teams that we've got in. I'd be happy playing any of them except for Texas. And that's just because I don't want to have to do it a third time.
It's just old. We've already done it a couple times. We've seen the film before,
Mm-hmm. We don't want to have to deal with it again.
They probably don't want to have to deal with us again either, honestly.
No,
yeah,
I really don't think so.
The feeling is mutual. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right.